I start genealogical analysis of this process, but I have not the sufficient tools to explain my elaboration at the moment. So I try to summarize some points. Modernity has gradually transformed traditional educational process, substituting a new way and relationship and the control practices towards. So we are moved from teaching models based on sacredness of the original group, characterized by self-conservative logic entrusted to an elder member, sometimes priest, who is considered the custodian of collective memory. To peripheral, we have these two. From these two peripheral models for functions focused on breaking with the past and affirming individual identity. So, this is where reads and the initial reads in particular constituted the modality through which the birth of community was rendered sacred, renewing the benevolence dependence of nature in a logic of eternal return that finds its most appropriate spatial temporal representation in the cycle. Modern society has introduced a process of secularization that inverts the man-natural relationship of dependency with it, one subject to collectivity. So the promise of individualism or subjectivity, so the introduction of new educational control system functional to the modern social-economical framework. As Ivan Illich affirmed in the schooling society, modern school is recognized as the only institution specialized in education, while at the same time it paradoxically bases its social control on teacher-centered learning. So teacher authority is articulated through three diverse roles: as custodian, as moralist, and as therapist. Illich analysis make me focalize on two interesting points. The first one is we have to consider the persistence, as Weber making his analysis on the Protestant ethic and capitalist spirit, in which he is make a comparison between religion and economy, and Foucault, of course, that compares modern Western state and the Christian practices. So, the question becomes, what kind of old control techniques the contemporary educational system is trying to integrate in a new educational shape, and what kind of persistence the new educational system is revealing? The second point is we have to consider the school as an environment. That is the link with McLuhan and what we explained this day. Thus, a medium. As Ivan Illich said, classroom attends and removes children from the everyday world of Western culture and plunges them into an environment far more primitive, magical, and deadly serious. So, as Ivan Illich revealed, as well as Illich revealed, the hidden architecture of the modern school system based on the Feynman model, proposing a new school model centered on student, as well, Postman in teaching as a subversive activity reveals McLuhan's contribution in contemporary education analysis. That's why we are focusing on our school, because the school is capable of becoming the critical environment and the principal medium. That's why Postman considered McLuhan as the most dangerous smart educationist. Sorry. Now I go on the not recent but more recent fact. The hidden architecture of the modern educational system was partially laid bare in 1968, when the first generation conflict concerning the freedom of knowledge emerged. Student protests around the world arose combat the idea that university could be transformed into a professional training center for new managerial classes. The 1999 Declaration of Bologna was a culmination of this process, redefining the utmost level of European educational system and returning us the subject of student protest through all the 2000 year. So, as we can see, employability is a key word that merits a genealogical approach. I would like to focalize on higher educational area and, of course, on Bologna process. In effect, it is important to watch on this because it creates the field in which differentiation, distance, discontinuity in the higher educational system appears in analysis. It's interesting to analyze this field because there is a first phase of emergence, that is the higher education area. There are authorities of delimitation. At the start are European Union and 29 signatory states, and there is a starting point document that I analyzed in each aspect, try to synthesize and individualize some basic concepts like mobility, employability, international and competitiveness, and cooperation. It's interesting also because we can observe how many subjects enter this process during 10 years and which position they have in each moment, in each step of this process.